Hey YouTubers, this is Mike Day here with my 2022 Honda CRF450X. Thought I'd go over some upgrades I did to it. As you can see, I got the decal works graphics and seat cover. That grip seat cover works excellent. I custom designed my own graphics, and I'm very happy with them. All the sponsors or the names in the graphics are actual products that I use. I am not sponsored by anybody. I'm just Joe Blow that likes to ride. But I like to give props to products that I like. So what I did with this bike is, to start off with, stock, it was horrible as far as detonating and backfiring and stalling, and it ran, as far as I'm concerned, like crap. Very lean, overheated, and I barely even rode it when it was boiling. So I started doing some research, and I found a company called Champion Adventures that does what they call a coolant delete kit. That kit removes all the extra emission stuff on the bike that isn't necessary. It's actually lawyer crap that has to be put on because of California regulations. Every bike is basically regulated by California. When it comes to the green sticker or the emission control, California sets the precedence, I guess. Anyways, I bought that kit. It was $350, and I removed about 6 pounds of crap that didn't or wasn't necessary on the bike, and it actually made it run fantastic. All the backfiring, stalling, all that garbage went away, and it actually felt like a really nice dirt bike. Then the next thing I did is I put the full Yoshimura R4 exhaust system on it, and then I got a Vortex 10 ECU, and I had it custom programmed by Twisted Development. If you're not familiar with Twisted Development, they do extraordinary work on engines and ECUs, and they make bikes go very fast. They sponsor a lot of professional racers, and the guy that owns it knows what he's doing. Now, I will suggest one thing. If you're going to deal with Twisted Development, you want to go through a shop. Find your local dealer. I went through Moto City in Anthem, Arizona. I'm personal friends with the parts manager there. His name's Guy Dethridge, and he's a very good resource, knows his stuff, and knows people. And he got me my ECU through Twisted Development, and I actually had a problem with it once after I got it back and put it in. Did a couple rides, and I had an engine light that wouldn't go away. So sent it back to him. Well, I gave it back to Moto City. Moto City sent it back to Twisted Development. They completely wiped it out, started over, did updates, all new software updates, sent it back, and it's been excellent ever since. But the thing is if you try to deal with Twisted Development yourself, you might find it very difficult, because the company and the man behind it are very busy and very involved in professional racing. So being Joe Blow, you might have a hard time getting a hold of the guy. But going through a dealer a local shop, they have better ways of contacting them. Or anyways, my guy did, and he hooked me up. The next thing I did is I went through a company. I did a lot of research on 450Xs and Baja racers and desert racers, professionals. And I am by no means a professional, but I like to know what the good guys do. And so for my suspension, I sent my suspension to a company called AHM Factory Services. They are 450X experts. They know what they're doing. They do it for all the pros. And they're, we're talking Baja champions and every other race type champions. They know what they're talking about. They know how to do suspension. So I had them do mine. It ran me a little over $800. Revalved it, resprung it. Excellent. The suspension works excellent. I love it. And I put these full wraparound of Chirby's handguards on. That's what I like, because this bike is very tall, and I'm 5'8". It's hard for me to touch the ground, and when I drop this bike, it's doing stupid things like trying to get off of it or trying to turn around in the middle of a road. And those handguards, besides being bark busters and keeping branches and stuff, cactus, from smashing my hands, they save my levers and bars, and they've done me well. So I like the full wraparound. I got a DID 520 ERVT X-ring chain. I have a Super Sprox aluminum and steel sprocket in the rear. I use a 52 tooth. I just put this on. Today's my first ride with it. Comes stock with 51. And so far today, I really like it. It gets after it quicker. It just feels good. I like it. I haven't ridden real hard because I have recently undergone a bunch of heart surgery, and I have atrial fibrillation, or I did, and I just went through my third surgery, and I'm on blood thinners and all kinds of crap, so I have to take it easy right now. So, but the way I have ridden it, I'm very happy. I got the Zeta chain guide in the back, Zeta case saver in the front. I took off the part that covers the sprocket. I don't like that. I just use the part that saves the case. I put Dunlop, I believe they're MX53s. They're the newest. They're not, I'm pretty sure 53s, not 52s. And they seem to work very well. They work great on a motocross track. They're an intermediate tire. I'm gonna look into getting some more desert type tires that have closer knobs. And out here where I live, it's very hard packed, gravel or sand on the top. Couldn't get any slicker. So I'm looking, anybody has any suggestions? I'm looking for tire choices that hook up under the worst conditions. Let's see. So I got the Emig lock-on grips. I really like those because you can take them on and off whenever you want and don't have to cut them. I got the Fly Racing oversized handlebars with rubber mounted oversized handlebar mounts. I got the Baja Design light. My son-in-law and daughter bought that for me for Christmas, and it is awesome. That thing is bright even during the daylight. I ordered the brake pedal. It's a breakaway spring mounted, I guess, or spring loaded brake pedal. I like it a lot better. It has way good grip on it, and it just sits better than the stock. It's from AS3 Performance. They're a European company. I also got an AS3 shift lever, and I like them both. The stock ones I did not like at all. For some reason, I kept missing them, and I just didn't have good luck with the stock brake and shifter. The shifter most likely was, I bought this bike used. It had like 680 miles on it, and it was bone stock, and the guy, I think he sold it because he was in over his head as far as bike goes, and you could tell he had dropped it multiple times because the shifter was bent and had scratches in the plastic, and it's probably a good thing he sold it because he was new to this type of sport, and I think he bit off more than he could handle. I use a couple of free things that I did is I took the airbox cover off, and I also took the backfire screen off the air filter cage. Very easy to do, both of them. And it's a free modification, and it makes a huge difference on airflow. Big time. So I highly suggest you do that. Well, there's 3 things that I highly recommend for this bike. The Champion Adventures Coolant Delete Kit, the Yoshimura Full Pipe, and the Vortex 10 ECU. Those 3 things make this bike awesome. Everything else you could live with stock, but I'm telling you, those 3 things change this bike. Now, I've been told by a YouTube viewer that commented on one of my videos is that I need to get the cam work done. I guess they can replace the cam with the R version, and it takes this thing, well, stock horsepower on this bike is 40. By replacing that cam, it takes it up, according to him, around 58 horsepower, up to 58 horsepower. That is outstanding. The fact that this thing only has 40 blows my mind. Now, with the pipe, the ECU, and deleting all the emissions crap, I guarantee you it has more than 40. But it's still not an R. And it's never going to be an R because it weighs 275 pounds stock. An R weighs like 240 or something, 242, somewhere in there. It's like a 34-pound difference stock. Now, I removed the heavy stock pipe. I removed all that California emission crap. I think that emission stuff is about, I don't know, several pounds. The pipe is several pounds difference. So I'm probably in the 260s, I'm guessing. Another thing I did on this bike, a free upgrade, other than you got to buy different bolts, is I took those side plastic sound deadening cases off the case. Those things are terrible. They trap water, mud, sand, dirt in there, and then they just, it's like having a piece of sandpaper. Get rid of those things. Unless you're just going to ride this thing on the street, get rid of those. All they do is tear things up. Yeah, trust me on this, you don't want those. Well, I think that's about it. I'm thinking about getting different foot pegs that have the sharp stubs on them, kind of like this brake pedal. Well, exactly like this brake pedal. I want pegs that are like that because I really like the feel of that. And AHM that did my suspension also does a linkage they do custom linkage that is supposed to make this bike handle exceptional in the braking bumps and accelerating bumps. It keeps that rear wheel hooked up under the worst situation. So I'm thinking about doing that. And I definitely want to do the cam thing. I have to take it to somebody, and I just haven't decided to do that yet. But that upgrade in horsepower is phenomenal. All right, guys, I hope this helps you out, either making a decision on buying a 450X or keeping your 450X, because now you know how to make it a badass bike. No matter what, it's still heavy. I've taken this to Arizona Cycle Park, which is, if you're not familiar, is a really killer motocross facility, and I've rode it several times there. It's not a motocross bike. It's heavy. It beats you up. It wears you out. Now, granted, I was having all my heart issues when I did it, so my stamina was just in the toilet. But I'm telling you, I rode my buddy's 450R WE and his 250R, and there's no comparison. If you want to ride motocross, get yourself an R or an RX. If you want to ride trails and haul ass through the desert and, you know, occasionally ride on the street, or I don't know, whatever it is you want to do, Baja, this bike is awesome. All right, take it easy.